For our first SketchUp modeling challenge, we're going to be making a pencil organizer. So the requirements are that each one of these little square cells, that's for the pencils, they have to be 8 millimeters by 8 millimeters. The walls have to be 2 millimeters wide, all throughout. It needs to be about between 60 and 100 millimeters tall, and it should have around 6 units per side. You don't have to make it in an L shape, but it should be in either an L shape or a plus shape or some kind of shape that will be able to stand up on its own instead of just like a line. So pause the video now and see if you can make something like this. So here's how we do it. Let's start with a rectangle that is the same size as the inside of one of these pencil pockets. That's 8 millimeters by 8 millimeters. I'll do that by doing 8, comma 8. Enter. By the way, you want to make sure when you start a new project you select millimeters, because something like this we would typically want to 3D print perhaps, and when you are working with 3D printing you typically want to be working in millimeters as opposed to feet and inches. So with our 8x8 square, I can now use the offset tool. I'll click anywhere on the inside. Oops. Sometimes when you use the offset tool, it'll like finish the tool even when you first click, but we can always just undo and try again. Just click somewhere in there. Oh, did it again. Third time's the charm. Alright, so I'll move it outside. I'll enter 2. And that created a 2 millimeter offset around that rectangle. Now I can select this whole thing, right click, copy, and then right click, paste. And what I can do is I can now grab this with the move tool by clicking on the midpoint of this outer edge, and I'll put that on the midpoint of this edge. I'll make sure that it's snapping to the midpoint. We're not going to worry so much about what these lines are doing for now. We're just going to kind of get the basic layout kind of set up. So now I can even copy and paste this whole thing to save some time. And same thing, I can grab by this midpoint and place it here. And now I'll paste those two one more time because it's still on the clipboard. And same thing, I'll grab it by the midpoint of this edge and put it on the midpoint of this. Now I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing. And I'll rotate it, the rotate tool, 90 degrees. And I'll move it over. Just put the corners right on top of each other. Yeah, and that gives us the basic layout of our pencil holder. Alright, now we've got some cleaning up to do. But before we even do that, what we should probably do is I'll select this whole thing, copy and paste it, because we need to make a little base for our thing, for our pencil holder. So I'm going to erase all these lines on the inside in this copy. Oops. And I'll just put one line back to heal that face. Erase it. And I'll use the push-pull tool to to make that 2 millimeters. So what that's done is it's created a like common floor for the whole thing. Because what I can do now is simply move this on top of that foundation or that floor that we've created. All right. Now I can go ahead and clean this up so that we can take and use the push-pull tool to pull up the walls exactly how we want. So in order to do that, I have to erase some of these little lines. I'm going to erase this line, for example, and this one. So it creates an entire contiguous region that represents where the walls are going to be. Okay, now that we have that, I can simply take the push-pull tool and pull all the walls up at once. I'll take it up to, it actually doesn't matter how high I put it for now because I'm going to cut it and trim it in a second. So I'll just take it up to 120. Now, to give it that angle that we want, I'm going to create what I like to call a cutting block. And literally all I'm going to do is make a big rectangle, turn that into a box. Now I'm going to actually move that away a little bit. Now I'm going to rotate this box, put it maybe at something close to a 45, maybe something like that. I'm just kind of giving it a random angle because this angle we're creating is just for decoration, basically. Just want to create something that looks kind of interesting. So now I'll even rotate it in this direction. Yeah. So now I'm gonna create a group from this box until we're ready to actually make it cut into the thing. So while we're moving it around, I like it for it to stay a group. So move that over our pencil holder and up. And I'm just gonna move and adjust its position until it's like cutting it just the way I want. Yeah, that looks about right. So now I need to first explode or ungroup the box. Now I'll select the box and my pencil holder with the selection box, and I'll do right click, intersect faces with selection. Now that'll actually create those lines that we need. So I can go ahead and erase my cutting box. And I can erase all these lines that I don't need anymore and all these faces. Get rid of this stuff. Yeah, so at this stage, it might not be perfect. So we can see these faces aren't really behaving like we want them to. Like I would like to be able to select just one of these squares and delete it to make it turn it into an open pocket again. So what we have to do is actually select the whole thing again, right click, intersect faces with selection, and that should fix it the second time. So I'll delete these to create the openings again. Now this face is gray because technically it's like the inside of the face. So what we can do is just select it, right click, reverse faces, and that'll make it the correct color again. And then you can call it good here, or if you want it so that the pencils each sit higher than the last one, we can take and use the push-pull tool on the floors of the little pockets. So for example, you could do maybe this one is up by 5, maybe this next one is up by 10, and so on for the rest of them. If you want to adjust the height of the whole thing, you can grab all the lines that you want to move up by doing a selection box, and we can literally just move them up with the move tool, and that'll increase the height of the whole thing. And then of course, if you want to give it some color, we can use the materials. I made mine green, but you can browse around and make it whatever color you want. So I hope you were able to complete this challenge successfully, and I will see you in the next video.